Hi everyone, welcome back to Qigong of Tulsa. We'd like to do a little video for you as an introductory to one of our modalities that we use here in our clinic, and it's called cupping. There's a lot of different opinions about cupping, and it's very interesting that most of it is based upon what the end result looks like when you see, for instance, the Olympic swimming team, and you've got a bunch of circles on their backs and shoulders and the like. But really, once you understand the principle behind it, and it doesn't look as bad, if you will. But one of the things that I think I'm required to do as part of the introductory session to that is the explanation of why muscles are so important when it comes to the flow of qi in your body. All along the meridian track, if you will, wherever there are muscles, there's always a combination where the muscle affects the meridian or the meridian affects the muscle. So whenever you have a blockage in your meridian, for instance, and the bioelectricity is not flowing through that meridian, your muscles will tighten up, specifically, or initially, I should say, at the area where the blockage first occurs. And the reverse to that is when an injury occurs from the outside, or shall we say from the muscle, and the corresponding reaction that the muscle takes is, for instance, one of tightening up. When that tightening up occurs, it also affects or directly affects the meridian. So when you look at Qigong, or shall we say cupping from the Qigong perspective, then what you're doing is you're looking at the effect that the muscles have on the meridians that in turn directly affect the functioning of the organs. So that gives you an idea of how things occur, if you will, when it comes to having physical problems down the line. If you have a kidney issue, sometimes if you've been hurt in your lower back, or your lower back is hurting, is an indication, one, of your muscles being tight, obviously, but it could also mean that you're having kidney problems that are affecting the muscles in your lower back. So keeping that in mind, it's not just the healing, if you will, of a muscle that's important here, is to follow the path, if you will, that this injury or the location of the injury has on the rest of the system within your body, i.e. your meridians, and vessels too, by the way. But so now let's talk about what happens when you have these circles, if you will. Some of our students call the little circles pepperonis. That's become a saying now here at the clinic. But nevertheless, what these simply are is an indication of how much blockage, how much stagnant blood and energy and all kinds of different issues that your muscle is having. And the thing we have to remember is that any time and every time a muscle tightens up, your blood doesn't flow. When the blood doesn't flow through the muscle, neither will the bioelectricity or qi flow through that muscle. So it's a situation that can eventually evolve into a lot of other issues in that regard as well. So what happens when you put a cup on a certain area is that cup removes all the stagnant blood, relaxes the muscle, removes all the toxins that were jammed up, if you will, within the tight muscle. And it relaxes the muscle, allowing the blood flow to reoccur. And of course, when you relax the muscle, the bioelectricity flow within the muscle, as well as in the nearest meridian, will begin to flow again. And something to remember is that when you have a muscle-related injury, your body is going to adapt And what I mean by that, it's going to recruit muscles from other areas of the body so that your body can function as normal as it can based under, any kind of or a certain kind of illness that you may have. So that's why sometimes, you can start off with a lower back pain that works its way up the back, or it works its way down to the buttocks area and down the legs. So it is vital that any kind of injury that's a muscle-related injury is looked at as soon as possible. Now, it's important to understand that the pepperonis will go away within a matter of days, depending on the intensity of the blood stagnation within that area or in the muscle. It'll take anywhere from 3 to 5 days, and depending on the intensity of the damage in that certain area, it may take a little longer, but it dissipates eventually. So that being said, one of the other benefits that comes about in the way we practice cupping at Qigong of Tulsa is that we combine both the lymphatic massage as well as a regular cupping session. And this is a very important and vital aspect of any time you do cupping, because when you do cupping, you remove bioelectricity that's been static, held in that one area. And along with the elimination or the removal of the stagnant blood, when you activate an area that's been bioelectrically affected, whereas it doesn't flow in that certain area, once you start moving, once things start functioning again because of the placement of the cup, you also have to keep in mind that depending on how long you've had this blockage, if you will, the Qi will get used to being in that position. And if you don't treat it and then remove it, make sure you move it away from that area, it'll go back to where it was. And one of the best examples for that is what we call today muscle memory. And that occurs because the Qi has not been removed. It's been upset, if you will, in that area, but not removed. So that's one thing that we pay close attention to here, is the fact that by using both massage as a means, as well as using a lymphatic type of treatment, that we do remove the stagnant blood, stagnant Qi, and keep everything, or bring everything back to its natural flow. People are different. So when we assess an individual for cupping, it's important to understand that age has a lot to do with it, skin type has a lot to do with it, the injury obviously has a lot to do with it. So the amount of pressure we put on a cup depends on the state or the health of the individual that we're working with. Again, if it's age, that's a given. But if you have somebody that's had a car accident and their back is really a mess, then you have to be very careful how you approach this, and you take it one step at a time, so to speak. In closing, I just want to add that, we've just skimmed through the surface here. There's a lot more to it because of the application of Qigong theory within the application, obviously, of the cupping. So keep in mind that what I've given you is kind of a general playlist of what we do. And when we get into situations like a sciatic nerve treatment, that changes. The process of cupping changes a little bit. So keep in mind that this is just an introduction, a simple explanation of how cupping works. We haven't discussed trigger point usage either. I mean, there's various and sundry little things that are added to this. But what I want to emphasize is the importance of in treating your muscles well. If you injure a muscle, make sure you heal it the proper way. If you enjoyed this video, please click below and let us know how you feel. And we offer one-on-one consultation. If you want to contact us, hit on the link below, and or use social media. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. Contact us through those means as well. You can go to the website. We have a contact page there, and you can send us an email or any way you want to contact. We're everywhere and waiting to hear from you. And like and subscribe if you would. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.